Okay, getting started with some characteristics of quadratic functions. Today what we're going to do is add in something else. Instead of just finding the vertex and whether it's a max or a min, we're going to put in the words of zeros. And so what we're going to do is we're going to find the zeros, and then you can also check the answers of that. What is a zero? Well, it's where it crosses the x-axis. So in this particular problem, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, this is my zero. So the zeros are just x equals -4. What that means is if I was to put -4 in for my x value, I would come up with the answer of 0 because that's what the y value is. And so if we do that, which I did put a -4 there, I've got positive 16 plus -32 plus 16. And if you look, 16 and 16 makes 32, and 32 and -32 make the 0 that I was talking about. And so a 0 is exactly that. It's when y equals 0. And the only solution then is x equals -4. The other part we're going to talk about today is the axis of symmetry. I'll abbreviate that as AOS. So the axis of symmetry always passes through the vertex. This is very important. It always passes through the vertex. So we're going to be able to use the vertex to help us figure out the axis of symmetry. So looking at an example here, not only am I asking you to find the zeros, but I'm asking you to find the axis of symmetry as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, well, I know what the zeros are. The zeros are when x equals -1 and when x equals 3. So those are my zeros. Again, if I was to plug in -1 here and plug in 3, I would end up with y equals 0. And then my axis of symmetry, if we go back to the definition, what it does is it divides it up into two symmetrical halves. So what it does is it splits it in half. So I'm looking for where is this split in half. So remember it said the axis of symmetry always includes the vertex. Well, there's the vertex. The axis of symmetry is this line that I've highlighted. It's what the axis of symmetry. It's a vertical line, so I know it's an x equals equation. X is always 1. So the axis of symmetry equation is x equals 1. Let's look at a few more examples here. Let's go ahead and find the same thing. Let's go ahead and find the zeros and then the axis of symmetry on each one of these. So the zeros for this problem. If you look at the x-axis, it never crosses the x-axis, so there are none. There are no zeros. The axis of symmetry, remember I'm going to abbreviate that as AOS or A of S. The axis of symmetry is where it splits it into half. So it's this line right here, this vertical line, and that vertical line has the name of x equals, x is always, and the x value that's corresponding to that is 0. X is always 0. Let's refer to this. This is considered a maximum. This is a review from yesterday, and there is my vertex as well. Looking at this next one, I have my 0. My zeros, there are just one 0 there. It only crosses the x-axis in one spot. That's when x equals 3. So my 0 is 3. And then my axis of symmetry, again, is that line where you split it in half. The axis of symmetry is x equals, in this case, x is always 3.